Welcome to the afternoon session, everybody. My name is Benjamin Poole. And in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 of the commodities right now that are continuing to push to the upside. So we've got gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and copper, all pushing higher, making good intraday highs and continuing that push. So let's just jump into the charts. First one we're going to talk about is gold. So here's the top pivot top here, secondary hit, third hit. Look at all this price consolidation. This put in some bearish consolidation. However, one line that I was watching is this downsloping trend line. The other things that I'm watching is the 20-day, the 50-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average. So now that we pushed above the 20 and the 50, the next level of resistance, as well as a ton of price consolidation, is going to be sitting right here about the $4,500 whole round number. So that's going to be a key level for the bulls to get through in order for us to have the chart of gold continue higher. Now, if you guys watched any of my previous videos, I was still targeting this pivot top right here, all this price consolidation at 3446.857. Now, that is still a potential downside target. However, now that we've broken this downsloping trend line, it switches this to at least going to more of a bullish sentiment than a bearish sentiment into, what's a ton of resistance on the way up for gold. Silver is making a nice push to the upside as well. So I did target this 54.4680 level. Previous pivot top right here, secondary hit, similar with the price action of gold where it had this breakout without a retrace. However, we got really close to that level, as you can see, and then getting a nice bounce. Put in a lot of what was considered bearish consolidation, so it did open the door for a further fall. However, look at what happened. This downsloping trend line right here, this red line, was the 20-day moving average. It's acted as a lot of resistance, consolidated right at the 20, and now we're pushing up. Got a little rejection off of the 50-day moving average, and now we're starting to break above this downsloping trend line right here. And this is a major downsloping trend line on silver. And so what I'm waiting for is a nice pullback. Now that we've made a continuation move up on silver, I want this to come back into the 61.0220 level for me, because that would be a retrace to the scene of the crime and likely a retest of this 50-day moving average. It may even get below there just a little bit. However, I do anticipate some sort of a bounce off that level on silver. This was a nice downsloping trendline resistance. If it does get back below this downsloping trendline, then I would actually look for a price action to move back down to the 50, sub $60 on the price action of silver. But right now, we're continuing this push to the upside. So the next level of resistance is sitting right here at 68.8970. This is going to be a ton of resistance. And just above that, you have all these pivot lows right in this area. So this goes back to the 14th of February, 2026, ton of price consolidation. And as you can see right below that is this 20-day moving average. The 200-day moving average. And that's sitting at about $70.50 on the price of silver. So it's going to take a lot of work to get up there. However, we've already broken this downsloping trend line. So now the bulls are in charge of this price action of silver. And so it's likely to continue to push higher. So palladium right now, downsloping trend line. Pivot top here, secondary hit, third hit, finally broke out, made a continuation move. So now that we've taken back control of these pivots, or at least the bulls have, this used to be resistance, and now we're stuck flipping it into support. So on the way down, my level on palladium is 1336. What I like to see is a nice retrace. Maybe break back down below this, recapture or come back down and hit the 20-day moving average, and then possibly even the 50-day moving average. But look at when price action ends up recapturing the 20 or the 50-day moving average, then the bulls are in charge and can drive this a little bit higher. So my upside target for palladium now is this upsloping trend line right here. Now it is above this 200-day moving average, which is telling me that you are going to have some resistance, as well as all this price consolidation where people thought this was putting in a bull flag, and then all of a sudden we fell off a cliff. So on the way up, there are still going to be people who are stuck in the trade of palladium, and so you should get a nice rejection level. If or when it does break above that, here's my upside move to about 1542 on the price action of palladium. Platinum, downsloping trend line. This was a closer, more tighter niched platinum downsloping trend line. Pivot top here, kissed it here, third hit, fourth hit. But look at the 20-day. It started to creep lower. And that's what happened to the price action. Once it got below it and it crossed over the 50, the 20 really took control and acted as a ton of resistance. So now that we flipped it and we're above this 1724 level, which is a pivot top here, came back down, kissed it a little bit, was a little bit of resistance. And now we're putting in a bull flag right on top of it. So for me, I'm not a buyer on platinum quite yet. What I would like to see is another flush of the 1724 level, and then it get back in where this red bar, this 20-day and the 50 meet. I would love to be a buyer right here at about 1650 would be my ideal location to buy platinum. Even though we are putting in a nice bull flag, you have to take advantage or pay attention to these wicks that are originating at the top end. So right now we're in still a ton of resistance on the chart of platinum. Above that, our next level of resistance is going to be this 200-day moving average with all of this price consolidation in this area. Now you are going to have a little bit resistance before that the 200-day moving average, and that's sitting right here at this low pivot point around 1836. Once we recapture that though, the next level of resistance is this pivot top here around the $2,000 level, and then ultimately, if we can continue to push wherever this upsloping trend line hits, and that's looking around $2,200 all the way up to about $2,300, really depends on when it hits. This is going to be a ton of resistance on the chart of platinum. And last but not least is copper. Here was this head and shoulders pattern. Shoulder, head, shoulder. But watch what happened. Pivot low here, secondary hit, third hit. We never broke the expected neckline of this. Stayed on top of support. And now look at the 20-day and the 50-day moving averages. The 20-day has recaptured the 50, meaning that we've got an upward momentum in copper. The only thing that I'm worried about right now, though, is this fake out right here where price action tried to push above these pivot tops, and now we're back below it. So this could be telling us that we're either moving back down to the 20 or the 50. So what I'm watching is this upsloping trend line. If we can finally break this upsloping trend line on the price action of copper, then we're likely to head all the way back down to these low pivots, right about $6. And that is likely where this upsloping trend line or this 200-day moving average, this red line or this yellow line, would be sitting at about $6. Secondary level of support below that is this upsloping trend line that goes way, way back on the price action of copper. So you get a pivot low from the lows of April 2025. Ton of price consolidation right underneath it, put in what was considered a bear flag, but then all of a sudden the 20-day flipped and it got a huge surge to the upside. This was maintaining the support for a really long time. This hidden trend line right here predicted price back down to this level, and then all of a sudden, if we do get a sell-off in copper, this is going to be a ton of support on the way down. And then I've got this pivot top right here, ton of price consolidation at all the way down to about $5.74 on the chart of copper. So now we are above a bunch of 20-day and 50-day moving averages. This is giving more credence to this up move on gold, silver, platinum, palladium, and copper. So what we're going to do is monitor these resistance levels, see how they react to them. And if we can start pushing through them, then gold, silver, and all these other commodities have a much, much higher potential move in the future. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for all the beautiful comments. You guys are wonderful. And we'll see you next time in the charts. You guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.